Appreciate you too, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here?
She bounce it like 6'4", no Nintendo, ayy. I just spent 2 beans on a benzo, ayy. Rockin' on Mozilla, this not Kenzo, ayy. Had to stretch my money like a limo, yeah.
What's up, you guys? We're tuned in to the 10th episode of the Keep It On Ice podcast. Have a special guest right here. First time I ever saw him, we were in the gym, Musho's Rec Center. I don't know if Calvin Bach.
Yeah,
Remember
Calvin
little
Bach from
Calvin?
Muscle Shows.
That's the
Yeah,
first time I
yeah,
ever remember
yeah.
seeing you in there. You was working out with him. Rayfield Ragland, college athlete at Clemson, played basketball at Clemson. Did you go anywhere before Clemson?
Well, I went to Chipola Junior College because when I
Okay.
got out of high school, I committed to go to Auburn and play football, but I was a Prop 48 student. I was one of those athletes that never took the ACT test.
Okay.
You got an athlete of my caliber, I never took the ACT test. So I was considered Prop 48. So instead of sitting out at Auburn, I chose to go to a junior college. So I went to
Okay.
Chipola Junior College in Marietta, Florida.
Okay, cool. I was gonna give you a introduction, but bro, you got so much like accolades and stuff. I'd rather hear it from you, so you could tell the people. So, Rayfield Ragland, graduate of Coffee High School, 1990. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your senior year, All-State, 4 sports.
4 sports.
Baseball, basketball, football, and track.
Yes.
Right. What'd you do? I know with like basketball, I'm sure they just put you wherever they needed to. What position did you play in baseball?
In baseball, I was a pitcher and a center fielder.
Okay. Would you say, out of those 4 sports in high school, which one would you say you excelled the most at in high school?
In high school, I would say baseball.
Okay.
Because coming out, playing baseball, that was probably the sport that I hated the most. But I was
Okay.
better in baseball. The sport that I loved was football and basketball.
In basketball.
But baseball was probably my best sport.
Okay, I've seen some clips of you playing baseball. Little though, you were little over there at the field over there in Florence. Yeah, pitcher though.
Yeah.
That's what I saw you was pitching, and you hit a home run. Same game.
Yeah.
Same game. So All-State, 4 different sports. Coffee High School. See, I didn't even know you played football, man, till I did my research. And he was gonna go to Auburn. That's my team, War Eagle. I wish you would have. We could have used you, man, for sure. But let's get into the early. Like, who's the first person that introduced you to sports?
I would say David Earl Watkins. He
Okay.
was my next door neighbor, lived across the street from me. Just like kids, growing up as kids, we outside in the yard, we're playing, we having foot races in the yard,
Yeah.
having rock throws, some things that kids don't do nowadays. We get out, we're throwing rocks as far as we can. We getting in the yard having foot races. Competing, doing different stuff. And my neighbor walked over to me one day and he said, "Man, you got a pretty strong arm."
Okay.
Because I was out throwing everybody in the rocks.
Yeah.
In the rock throws. He said, "You might need to consider playing baseball because you got a strong arm." And he said, "When I watch you run," he said, "you're very fast. So you need to really play football because you're tall, you're
Yeah.
strong, and you're fast." And at the time, I was 9 years old.
Okay.
But I was bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
And he said, "You need to consider playing baseball." So that summer, he signed me up to play baseball over at Wilson Dam.
Okay, so he pushed you into
He pushed me
baseball.
into playing baseball.
Okay.
Yeah. David Earl Watkins.
Cool. Shout out David Earl Watkins. He's from around here?
From around here.
From around
yes.
here. Cool. That's awesome, man. I tried my hand in baseball too. Hitting the ball, that's probably the hardest thing I've tried to do in sports.
That's the biggest skill.
Yeah,
You have
actually-
to be skilled to make eye contact with something that round.
Especially coming in there about 80, 90. So basketball, 1990, Coffee High School. Do you still keep up with any of those of your teammates?
Well, I see them around in the city,
Okay.
but as far as like really keeping up with a lot of them, it's like when you graduate high school, you scatter like flies. And then with me leaving, going to college, and then playing 14 years professional basketball, we all kind of disconnected from one another.
Okay, yeah.
And then once I got back in town, everybody's all over the place, so you kind of lose that connection. But when I see some of my old high school buddies, we sit, we talk, we chop it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's about the size.
There's
of it.
not a fall off. Y'all still same old.
Yeah.
So you were overseas for, you said 14 years?
14 years.
Okay. And this is basketball. He played 4 different sports, but basketball is ultimately what you took the farthest.
Yes.
Okay. Is that what you enjoyed the most out of all of them?
Well, I like dunking on people.
Yeah. Okay.
Me being sits, athletic, You know, I like slashing through the lane, dunking on people. That was my thing, you know, back in the day. I just loved the atmosphere that basketball brings. Baseball was a slow-moving sport.
It is.
You know, it gets kind of boring to watch. But I really like basketball because the excitement that came with playing the game.
Okay, so when you have all of these options, like, I mean, you could have went to college at the Division I level with 4 different sports. Did you have anybody in your ear, like, helping you decide? Because that's a big decision that you would have to make, especially when you have that many options. So was it, obviously you're going to do what you want to do at the end of the day, but did you have some other people kind of like, yeah, Rayfield, maybe you need to go this route, or you need to go this route, or is it more so you just tunnel vision to what you wanted and just ran with it?
Well, if you think about all of my high school coaches, I had the football coaches, I had the basketball coaches, I had the baseball coaches, and of course, my basketball coach is going to say, play basketball.
100%.
My football coach is going to say, play football. My baseball coach is going to say, play baseball, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't have no one that got in my ear and said, hey, you might need to think about playing this sport because the longevity of the sport,
yes,
you're better in this sport, this is what you need to play. I had nobody doing that, and that's the reason why I take up so much involvement with kids now, because I wasn't told back in the day what sport I should have played. So when you think about me coming out of high school, signing with Auburn to play football as a quarterback, getting drafted to play baseball twice. The second time I got drafted, I didn't even play baseball, and I still got drafted.
Could you let people know which 2 teams drafted you?
The Minnesota Twins and the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay. That's wild, man, twice.
I got drafted twice, and that was my calling to go play baseball. But again, I didn't have nobody looking at me saying, hey, let's sit down and let's talk about what it is you need to be doing in terms of sports. I had nobody doing that. So, of course, I made the wrong decisions. Now, basketball did me well. You know, I had a 14-year professional career, went to Clemson, and then went on to play professionally. So it did me well, but I can only imagine if I took the baseball offer, because I'm a pitcher. You know, I'm 6'6".
6'6".
6'6". I'm throwing downhill, throwing 96 miles per hour. I should have played baseball.
And that was early too, because that would only, the velocity would only went up on the fastball. You probably would have been close to triple digits.
Yes.
If you were locked in on just that. Did any of your coaches in high school, since you played all 4 sports, did any of them, because I know nowadays when I see kids trying to play multi-sports, some of the coaches are like really against it. They'll be they play football, but they also play basketball. And some of these coaches be like, man, you need to leave the basketball alone. Just focus on one sport. Did any of those coaches try to do that to you, or they were pretty supportive?
Man, every one of my coaches was very supportive. There was days when I would have a baseball game, I would leave the baseball game and go to the track meet.
Yeah, right, too.
I would leave the track meet and then go to the baseball game.
Okay.
But see, the old school coaches back in the day knew that every sport worked hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know, every sport was going to build me for another sport. For example, I did track because track was going to help me in football. I did track because track was going to help me in basketball.
Yes.
Right? Baseball was going to help with my hand and eye coordination. Right? So every sport worked together. If I was a parent that had athletes that played multiple sports, I would encourage every child to play as many sports as they can. And then once they get to their sophomore, junior season in high school, then try to figure out. Because the thing about it, you never know how good you're going to be in sports.
It's all up in the air, man.
You never know.
Especially early.
That's why I try to get a lot of coaches when they have kids going through tryouts. Don't just cut a kid because they have a terrible tryout. The first thing I try to get coaches to do is make sure you look at their parents. Because if that kid is small, that kid may stretch out to be 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
Look at the parents before you end up cutting the kid, because you never know how good kids can actually be.
For sure. A lot of the time you gotta, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, but like you do have to go off potential.
Yes.
Like, and that's a sore subject to some people, but that's just how it works, man. You got to go off the potential. So basketball, you said you went to a JUCO in Florida first. Did you do 2 years there?
I did 2 years.
2 years, before the transfer to Clemson.
Yes.
Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, ACC Newcomer of the Year.
Yes.
Your first year in the ACC.
Yes.
So, dude, I'm so glad we're getting to have this conversation. When you got to the ACC, because at that point in time, which ACC is still so dominant, you know, in basketball. At that point, what competition do you think was better? Could you play in the SEC schools when you were at Clemson?
No SEC schools.
Okay, but the ACC was tough. Who was the best player you played during your college career? During your college career, you could level it to 3, because I know there's so many.
Listen, by far the top 3 players that I played against while I was at Clemson for sure was Grant Hill, Tim Duncan,
at Wake when he was
Wake
at Wake
Forest.
Okay.
And the number 1 overall draft pick, Joe Smith, that came out of Maryland.
Yep, I know exactly
so
who that is.
Grant Hill, Tim Duncan, and Joe Smith. But I can't leave out guys like Jerry Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace, Travis Best, Randolph Childers. See, I can't leave out those guys.
Because they're
Bob
so good.
Sura, Charlie Ward.
Yeah.
So those guys, man, in the ACC back then was tough. I mean, it was tough.
How good was Tim Duncan?
Tim Duncan was special.
Really?
Yeah, man.
And he just looks like he makes it. It's so easy to him.
Laid back.
They said he doesn't talk too much. He just
nothing rushed.
Handles it. So you played against Tim Duncan. That is so crazy, man. He's from is he from the Virgin Islands?
Yes.
I know he's not from America. Okay.
Virgin Islands.
Was he a senior?
He was a freshman.
Okay, so he's a little younger than you.
Yes, he's younger than me.
Okay.
So when I was a junior at Clemson, Tim Duncan was a freshman.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a little bit younger than me.
Was he one? No, he wasn't one and done. He stayed at Wake Forest.
He stayed 2 years.
2 years before he went.
Yeah.
When you made that move from Clemson to overseas, you did try your hand at the NBA, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so you went to all these combines and all that. What was that process like?
The process was great. The transition going from college to the pro level. I mean, the NBA, a lot of people talk about they want to go to the NBA, but they don't realize how hard it is to play in the NBA. You're playing against grown men.
Oh, every night.
Right, every night you're playing against grown men. So when I went to my first camp, it was more of a reality check for me to let me know, hey, you're not as good as you thought you were.
Okay.
So I had to make sure that I grind a little bit more and put in a little bit more work, because at that level, it's a lot harder than you think. So if you look at a guy like Mark Sears as an example,
yes.
you know, him being SEC Player of the Year, consistent All-American, I mean, he's struggling to get there, right? He's there. But to like make an actual NBA roster, people don't realize how exceptional you have to be to play at that level.
Yeah, because he could play, man.
He can play.
He's so good. That just lets you know that there's like levels, which
Yes.
I think that he'll have a shot.
He will.
He'll keep working. He'll get his shot. Shout out Mark Sears.
Yes.
You work with the training now. You're passing on this knowledge to the younger generation. But before we get into that, what did you, on your rise in athletics, what did you do growing up to train? Like,
Well, it's not like nowadays. Kids got everything.
They
at
have
their
so many
disposal. They got
resources.
so many things that they can do. Like I said, back in the day, I got my arms strong by throwing rocks.
Yeah.
Right. We would get outside. We would climb trees. We would run hills. We would do different things that increased our athleticism. You know, the old school hopscotch back in the day.
Yeah.
That's how we got light on our feet.
For
right?
sure, yeah.
We would do stuff like that.
Y'all were
as far-
outside.
Yeah, we were outside doing stuff. Kids don't do that now. Like I remember playing, remember the old school jacks game, you bounce the ball, you pick up the jacks, right? See, we had stuff like that. See, stuff like that worked our hand and eye coordination.
Yeah, you didn't even know it.
Didn't even know it.
Yeah.
I remember there was moments when I would get in trouble at home. One of my punishments was my mom would set out 7 strands of thread.
okay.
And she would have 7 needles. And she would get the smallest needle. So what I would have to do is I would have to sit there and I would have to thread a needle. That's how she got me to calm down, but I didn't realize she was teaching me also to be patient.
Okay.
She was teaching me how to focus, but so in order to take that thread and put it through, you had to sit there and you had to focus, right? So I sat there probably an hour and a half one day because I just couldn't get the thread through.
Yeah.
Right, and then over time, I started getting faster at it. See, I looked at it as punishment,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that she was only sharpening my focus at the time. So my parents did stuff like that. These are things that kids don't do. The jacks helps
Yeah.
your reaction. The threading taught me how to be patient.
Yeah.
Get outside and do hopscotch. That teach me to be light on my feet. You know, things like that kids just don't do.
Dude, that's so crazy you say that because, like you said, your mom made you focus, hand-eye coordination, thread the needle. My buddy Jacoby Bird, you know Bird?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I ran into him the other day, and I told him that I was going to interview you, and he's like, man, when he was a little kid, he told me to make sure I bring this up in the interview. He said he'll never forget he was a little kid. I think you ran into him at the Y, and you had told him something about his hand, controlling your body. You have to control your body a certain way. And he told me, he broke it down like this. You were telling him to move like certain fingers, but not move the other ones, because you got to have control over your body. And he said he worked on that because, you know, especially in your left hand, that coordination's a little off. And he said he worked at it till he could move all of his fingers without other ones moving. I thought it was pretty cool, man. It's just like little stuff like that will stick with you, man.
But you know what happens when you do that? It's something. I'm gonna test you right now. Something as simple as take your finger and do this.
Straight out.
All right. Yep. Now do your other finger like this. Now we're gonna turn it toward the camera. All right. Now.
Okay.
I want you to watch me first. I want you to flip that finger, flip that finger, flip that finger, flip, 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 flip. Try it.
Oh, okay. Oh man, it's off bad.
See
it's
that?
off bad. One second, let me try it one more time. Golly,
See
bro.
that? Shout out to Jacoby. See, that's what we're talking about.
For sure.
See, what I was actually doing, even with him, I was teaching him how to control his mind. See, what happens is when you sit and you can't do that, and then you practice it and you're able to do it, what you're actually doing is you're increasing more gray matter in your brain. So when you get to where you can't do something, and then you get to where you can do it, you're increasing gray matter. So even with Jacoby back in the day, because I was forcing him or putting him in situations to force him to think, I was sharpening more, building more gray matter in his brain. That way he was going to be very analytical. He could look at something and figure it out real quick because he was starting to figure out how to control his body by first controlling his mind.
Yes, and he told me that will stick with him for the rest of his life. It's stuff like that, man. That is crazy though, because once you have that body control in athletics, it makes it a lot easier, man.
Yes.
Let's touch on the teams you played with in it was in Europe. You were in Europe, the first team, because you played for 2 different teams.
I actually played in 7 different countries.
7 different countries.
I spent 14 years in 7 different countries, but I spent the most of my time in France.
In France, okay. So the first team, it's hard to pronounce, kind of. Well, no, it's not. Champagne Basket.
Chapeau-Mondor. Chapeau-Mondor.
Okay, Chapeau-Mondor.
Yes.
Okay, so that's your first overseas team that you participated with.
Yes.
Okay, how old were you when you?
I was 24.
Okay.
When I first went overseas to play, 24 years old.
How was that transition, like from America to overseas?
Well, it wasn't really a hard transition because here in the States it's more fast-paced, but in Europe it's more structured, more slow-paced. That's why you got so many European guys now coming out of Europe that's very highly skilled.
Dude, they're so skilled.
They're so skilled.
It's crazy.
So in Europe, it was more slow-paced and a lot more structure. You had to actually know how to play basketball. And I tell the story all the time here in training with a lot of the kids that I didn't really learn how to play basketball until I was 27 years old.
Okay.
Because I relied mainly off a lot of athleticism.
That's a humble answer.
Speed. So when I got in Europe and I started playing in Europe, I had to figure out how to actually play because I was playing against more skilled players. So I tell the story all the time, playing against Manu Ginobili in the Euro League, having to play against him. And I remember my first year there in Europe, Tony Parker at the time was 14 years old, and he was already playing professional basketball at 14 years old.
So you played against Tony Parker
So
as well?
Yes, so I'm watching this kid run out on the court at 14 years old playing with professional players at 14 years old. So I knew right then when I saw Tony Parker at 14, I knew he was going to be good.
Yeah,
because
14?
at 14, he played like he was 25 years old. He was that good.
So your athleticism, that's when you realize, okay, it's taken me this far, and now I gotta
actually learn
how to play the game. Yeah. Would you say that learning over there in Europe, that helped translate to your training currently?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because there's so much that is not taught, like, from American culture, I guess you could say, compared to over there, the details of it.
Yes. Yeah, the detail with everything that I learned in Europe, it helped me to understand the actual ins and outs of basketball. Because every move that's made, I would make the move and then maybe get stuck on a move. But when I got to Europe and started understanding basketball, I could make a move and then get to another move and get to another move, and it was simply because of my mechanics. So everything that I do now in training, it's because of what I learned in Europe.
Yeah, I feel like they have a lot of counters. Like, they teach you the count. Like, that's not there, now this is here. I look into it a little bit. Like, I love Luka. Offensively, I think he might be the best in the league currently, maybe. That's debatable. Was there a bunch of Americans over there with you?
Yes, Khalid El Amin that played at Michigan State.
Okay.
He was over there. I forget the post player's name that played with Miami a few years ago. Udonis Haslem.
Okay, yeah,
You know, before he got his break in the NBA, he was playing in Europe. So I got to play against him in Europe before he stepped into the NBA.
Was there any stereotypes around American players that would go to Europe?
There was really no stereotype because all the American players were considered the Michael Jordan on the team. So when we got out in the city and everything else, because we was looked at as the Michael Jordan on the team. Now, if you was a regular American, walk on the streets, they'll probably look at you funny. But because we were athletes, there was really no stereotype.
Okay, that's awesome, man. I want to get over to Europe and like watch one of those games because the atmosphere is so crazy. A lot of people don't know that, man. Like they think over in Europe it's like a big step down in competition. That is not true, man. That's not. There's so many good players over there, and a lot of people, they play in the league for a little bit, and then they might get waived or cut, and they go to Europe. And a lot of people, the stereotype, they're not any good, but they don't realize like the talent that is the worldwide talent that is over there. Which, would you agree? Right now, currently, probably the top 5 players in the NBA are not from America.
No, they're not.
They're all like foreign players. That the world's catching up, kind of like you touched on earlier. The skill development over there is so different. Do you think? Because AAU is not a thing over there, right?
It's not.
Do they have a certain league, like kind of that replicates the AAU circuit?
Well, the only thing that replicates the AAU circuit in Europe is they have, like Tony Parker as an example, him starting to play professional ball when he was 14. They prep their players from the time they're 12 years old to be professional basketball players.
Okay.
Because if you look at France as an example, in all of France, I think it's 17 professional teams that's just in France, right? And then, of course, you got within the Euro League, the Super League, you go to France, you got Spain, you got Italy, you got all these neighboring countries. But in France alone, you got like 17 different professional teams.
Yeah.
So from the time kids are 12 years old, they're prepping you to be professional basketball players. So it's not like, you got AAU and you travel here, you travel here, you travel here, right? If you're in France, they have a French national team where all the best players go and play with this team.
Okay.
And then they might go to Italy and play against these players. They might go to Spain and play against these players at 12, 13, 14 years old. So they're prepping you to be professional athletes. That's the reason why now you got so many professional players coming out of Europe to the NBA and being top 10 picks.
Instantly. And they impact, they find their role and they make an impact on their team. Like they're cool with not scoring.
Yeah.
They're just, get me on the court, I'll play my role, get me to that next contract, basically. So somebody like yourself, with sports being so engraved in your life, like from the beginning, you've been playing sports or involved in sports your whole life. At what point in your basketball career, because every athlete, it comes to a point where you're going to eventually have to hang them up.
Right.
How was that overseas, or was there did you have an injury or anything that like caused you to call it quits earlier, or did your body just tell you, hey Bray, this is it?
At 36 years old, I was still the top 3 player in the league. I was the 3rd best scorer in the league.
Okay.
At 29.3 points a game. So I was still playing very well, but my left knee started giving me problems, and it got to the point where I was hitting bone on bone.
Okay.
And running up and down the court, going up and down stairs, just got to the point to where all the cartilage in my knee was gone. And I couldn't run and jump, and I was 36 years old at the time, so I was forced to end my career.
Okay.
Now, I was still the top 3 in the league at scoring, but I was forced to end my career because of my knee.
Yeah.
The doctors told me in 2006 that within 2 to 3 years, I would have to have a total knee replacement because my knee was that bad. But I did good going all the way from 2006 to 2024.
Yeah.
And I had a knee replacement 2 years ago, but that forced me out of my basketball career.
So in your career, you actually avoided like all major injury, like any ACL. You never tore your ACL or anything like that?
Well, I tore my ACL right out of Clemson.
Really?
Because I was a week and a half to 2 weeks until the Cleveland Cavaliers camp, and that's when I tore my ACL.
Okay.
The Atlanta Hawks came to Europe to get me from Europe in 2001, and I was in UNA playing pickup ball, trying to prepare, 100%. And I ended up tearing my quadricep tendon. So I've had an ACL repair, a quadricep tendon repair.
Okay.
I should not have been playing pickup ball with a bunch of college kids at that moment.
So you actually did have some injuries, and you just rehabbed it correctly, which is what you do now as well with the skills development, injury prevention. You've been there and lived through it. So that's how you can relay the message to these younger athletes. Rayfield Ragland, four-sport athlete, all-state, high school, could have went and played, I'll go out on a limb, could have went to the MLB. Now you have a hand in training the youth around the Quad City area and really just in the Southeast, right? When you made it back from overseas playing basketball to get into the training, who is the first athlete you remember training?
When I first got back from Europe, and this was in 2006, I looked around and I noticed that the city had pulled up all the basketball goals, right? Kids no longer had that outlet to go out in the summers and play pickup ball and, go out at the end of the school day and play pickup ball. There was no goals, everything was pulled up. So I'm riding around through the city looking for, kids just to be outside doing stuff, kind of like what I did when I played. And then I started going to watch all these basketball games. And when I was watching the basketball games, now keep in mind, I was in Europe where I see all of these very skilled young players.
Young.
So I come back to the States after seeing these skilled young players in Europe, and I come back to the States, I'm looking around at these kids when they play basketball, and I'm like, man, these kids, they would not compare to the kids that's in Europe. So I was in the YMCA one day, and I was just in there just playing, picking up ball, just shooting around,
staying
active. Parent walked over to me and was like, hey, I watched you throughout your career. Can you help give my kids some pointers? I was like, yeah, I give them some pointers. So I started talking to some kids, training some kids. But the one who stayed the most consistent with me very early was Sarah Puckett.
Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Sarah Puckett started with me in the 3rd grade.
Okay.
And I've helped Sarah go from the 3rd grade all the way through Muscle Shoals High School to University of Tennessee. She finished at Tennessee. She was on the Las Vegas Aces WNBA board her junior year to be drafted. But they had that coaching change at Tennessee. So the coaching change came in, changed the scheme of the game, the whole format of what Sarah was used to at Tennessee. But Sarah still had the opportunity to play professional ball, so she went to Finland last year.
Yes.
And right now she's in Australia having a remarkable season.
I've been keeping up with her, man.
Having a great season. I watched her play this morning. She had 28-3 this morning.
Really?
So I watched her play this morning. So she's in Australia right now playing, and she has already signed her contract to go to the Czech Republic right after she leaves Australia.
Okay, so she's...
But Sarah was the most consistent player that I had in terms of like really training 2, 3, 4 times a week from the 3rd grade all the way until now. When she come back in town, we right back in this gym.
Hey, shout out Sarah Puckett. I want to say 2,500 points scored in high school and 1,300 rebounds recorded in high school at Muscle Shoals High School. That's cool though, because at Tennessee, when I was keeping up with her early in her career, like you said, before the coaching change, dude, she was putting up some numbers. She was doing well. She was very efficient. She wasn't forcing it. She played her role. I'm glad she's still playing as well. So Sarah Puckett, that's the first person that you remember coming back and repeating your training. And it paid off for, I saw you working out with her probably like a month ago, right? She comes back and works out with you.
Whenever she come back in town, she do not use any other trainer.
Okay.
I'm the only player. When she left out of Tennessee, some of her other teammates and friends was preparing for the WNBA, and they tried to get Sarah to go out to California and to work with this guy and that guy. And Sarah was like, "Nope, I got one trainer." Loyalty.
That's awesome, man. That's hard to come by. It really is in today's society as well. She was Gatorade Player of the Year, right? In Alabama. Alabama. I see the banner up in Muscle Shoals High School all the time. So Sarah Puckett, that was the first person, or the one that stayed consistent from the start. Another athlete that you've been training, Reese Davis out of Deschler High School. She's going into her senior year right now. You've had her from the start as well, right?
I've had Reese Davis since kindergarten. And that's why I say to a lot of parents, if I can get kids early, I know what I teach works, right? But the parent have to be consistent with getting their child to me. So Reese started with me in kindergarten. And of course, a lot of people know she committed to Auburn University as a freshman. But she decommitted, and now she's on her way to Ole Miss to play, for the Rebels. But she has been with me since kindergarten.
At what point did you know that she had something special going?
By the time she was in the 5th grade, I knew.
5th grade.
And the reason why I say that is because she would be in the gym and I would put her in situations where she would go against older kids and she would not back down from them.
No, she's not scared.
She is not scared. So from an early age, I knew, I was like, this girl is going to be special.
She competes too, man.
And she loved the game.
Yeah.
I mean, she would wake her mom up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be in the gym at 5.
When she was young, too.
When she was young.
Yeah.
So she works at it. And the thing about Reese is she don't just work at the basketball game. She watch what she eat. She watch the fluids that she intake. She does everything the right way. So there's a reason why she is having the success that she's having right now.
Yeah, the mentality of it all.
Yes.
Yeah, she has a little mean streak to her on the court too.
Yeah,
doesn't she?
yeah.
You have to though. You have to. I really do enjoy watching her play. I'm gonna put it on camera right now. My bold prediction: next year, Deschler High School girls, 4A state champions, Alabama. That's gonna happen. That's my prediction right now. And I plan to go check them out because there's 2 twins over there too. I forget their names though.
Chloe and Casey Nelson.
They're tough as well,
Yes,
man.
yes.
I'm gonna be watching a lot of Deschler's girls basketball next year. Reese Davis, shout out Reese Davis. Go Ole Miss, hotty toddy. Ella Copeland from Russellville is another athlete that you've been training, and I saw where she had a big junior season this past year. How long have you been training with her?
Ella since 5th grade.
Since 5th grade, and because I keep up with it, man. I keep up with it a lot, and especially your journey as well. She suffered an ACL tear.
Yes.
What year was that in?
That was her freshman year.
How did she respond to your training after? Because I'm sure you helped her rehab that. That's part of your program as well. Like after an injury, you help them rehab back to.
Well, the thing was the mental part of the game was already developed. So that's the biggest part of what I do in training. I get kids to understand the reason why they need to respond a certain way.
Yeah.
So when Ella started to respond a certain way in training, I knew it, even though she had that ACL injury, that she was going to be able to get through that simply because the mental part of the training had already taken place.
Yes.
So it's not anything special that I did to help her get back. Her mindset was already there where it was not going to be a setback for her.
Yeah, because it's not a setback. Because last year I watched her and you can't tell she's had an ACL injury. She's tough too, man.
She is.
Does she have any offers? She has a couple of
she
offers,
has,
doesn't she?
I think seven offers right now on the table.
Okay, they're about to start rolling in too.
Oh yeah,
I'm
for
pretty
sure.
sure.
For sure.
I'm gonna touch back on Reese Davis for a second, because a lot of people would not do this, and I respect it. She, correct me if I'm wrong, she opted out of playing AAU basketball this year. She wanted to just focus on locking in, getting in the lab. We're in the lab right now, and just working. Do you think more athletes should possibly look into taking that route?
Oh, for sure. When she approached, Reese and I, before we start the summer, we sit down, we talk, we formulate a plan for the summer.
Okay.
Even before the actual basketball season start, we sit down, we talk, and we formulate a plan. We figure out what the goals are for this season.
Yeah.
So beginning of the summer, probably about 4 weeks ago, she came to me and said, "Hey, Coach, I'm not going to play AAU this year." So I was like,
Yeah.
Good, because I mean, she really don't need to because she has already committed to play college basketball. So the biggest focus right now with Reese is getting her stronger, quicker, faster, and teaching her the ins and outs of college basketball now. So a lot of the stuff that she's able to get away with in high school, I'm explaining to her now, okay, now let's understand how we're gonna have to make these moves in college.
Yes.
Because I'm telling her now that don't compare yourself to what you see right now in high school. So with her being an upcoming senior, she right now is watching those freshmen.
Yeah.
That's in the SEC.
Yeah, seeing
she's
how
watching those sophomores right now in the SEC because she know that when she becomes a freshman, those are the players she's going to have to be playing
Competing against.
So a lot of what we're doing this year with her throughout this transition of not playing AAU basketball is pretty much getting her ready for college.
Okay.
She's getting some more size.
Okay.
We're attacking the weights.
Yeah, getting
and we're
bulked
just
up.
learning the ins and outs of the game.
Yeah, I think that'll be a great move too. I'm a huge fan of her, man. I really I go watch her play all the time. She has like a little flair to her game that I enjoy watching. That a lot of people, I don't see it too much. You will from time to time, but she's an entertainer, man. I love watching her play. Coach Ragland, I got 2 questions for you. The first question, currently, rough estimate, how many athletes do you train currently?
Well, on my actual training page, there's over 2,600
2,600
people that's on my training page. Of course, they don't all come at one time, but it's 2,600 total.
Okay.
That's on my, like 2,600 plus that's on my training page.
Okay.
But I would guess, if I had to guess right now, I touch probably about 180 athletes a week.
Okay, so you're dealing with multiple athletes weekly, and all these players, they're different schools, different ages,
Different sports.
different sports. With you being a trainer that is working with that many different sports, athletes, boys and girls, all ages, do you think that some of these coaches, do you think like they actually appreciate these trainers? Or do you think sometimes these coaches, they kind of have a stereotypical view on some of these trainers, like, you don't need to listen to him. You know, some people have egos. Everybody has an ego, but like some of these coaches, it's like you tell them you're with a trainer and they kind of like get offended by it.
Well, I think that happens two ways. And the first way is, I know a lot of coaches right now that use me and they want my services because they know that I'm only going to make their job easier.
Yes.
You know, I tell all the kids in training all the time, my job is to break all the things that you should not be doing before you get to middle school and before you get to high school, before you even get to college. My job is to break all of those things.
Yeah.
So shout out to all the coaches that actually want to use trainers. But on the other side of it, there's a lot of coaches who don't want to use trainers, and I can't really put my finger on why.
Me either.
Because all we're doing is helping their kids develop.
Yeah.
But if I had to guess, I would just say a lot of coaches don't want to feel as if they're being undermined.
Yeah.
Trainers coming in, making a kid better. The coach didn't make the kid better. The trainer made the kid better. I think a lot of coaches just don't want to look at it in that way, that a trainer is the one that got my child better. But that's not the way that it works. The way that it works is coaches should be able to come in to the season, the preseason, and concentrate strictly on the X's and O's.
Yes.
Right? Players should be using the off season to get better. So when kids walk in my gym, I tell them, when you get back in front of your actual coach, you want that coach looking at you like, my God, what have you been doing?
Yes.
So kids need to work on those weaknesses. It's like I did a clinic yesterday with the coach from Brewer High School, and he said, I want you to come in because I want to pick your brain. The week before that, I spoke with another local coach here in this area. He said, I want to pick your brain. I want to understand what it is you're doing to transform athletes, because I've had success doing it.
Yes, a
which
lot
is
of
why
success.
I don't see why a lot of coaches wouldn't say, hey, let's figure out what Coach Rayfield is doing, because we've had a lot of success. But I just think that a lot of coaches just don't want to feel undermined.
Exactly.
But you got to be an open book.
You really do, man.
You got to be willing to learn. You got to be willing to bounce ideas off of everybody else. You have to be able to do that. If you're going to progress more into the coaching field, I mean, you have to. I have a coach right now, a local college coach, that coach at UNA.
Okay.
He bring his kid to me. Now, he's a college coach.
Yeah.
But he bring his kid to me because what is he doing? He's picking my brain. He's seeing my method. He's seeing the different things that I do. So shout out to that coach as well that bring his kid, because you got to be open.
You got to.
You got to, especially if you got a guy in the area that has played college basketball, that have played professional basketball. And I've had coaches like Rick Barnes. I've had coaches like Cliff Ellis.
Legend.
I've had coaches like Kermit Davis, right? So, and then when you mix in all these professional trainers that I had, you know, it's like I'm a melting pot. I got all this information right here. I go do John Calipari's camp when he was in Kentucky. I went to his camp for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Just to get more information. So when I'm receiving all this information from these college coaches, all I'm trying to do is give it to the kids and give it to the coaches.
Yeah, man. And then in my opinion too, like, the reason I love trainers is like kind of what you said earlier. In the regular season, coach is telling you the X's and O's, because not only do you prepare these athletes from a physical standpoint, this is what I always have, because I'm picking your brain right now, and I've always wondered how you do it. And I'm sure it's not something you just wake up and you're able to do. It takes years of practice. You're able to like mentally reach these kids and mentally prepare them for what is needed to reach that next level. You know, a coach, when you're coaching, you're dealing with 12 athletes at one time. You can't really mentally prepare them as well as a trainer can. When they're in here with you one-on-one, it's getting hard, you're getting tired. That's when you got them mentally prepared to take that next step. And that's why I feel like a coach should always welcome these trainers with open arms, because it's not going to hurt the team or program.
No,
There's no way. There's no way.
It's not going to do anything but help the program. So to touch on what you just said, every trainer has their own method of training. Drills are going to be drills, right? Everyone can go through drills, make a kid tired, even have trainers who can actually take kids and develop the right technique. But the separation when you transform athletes comes first with this thing right in between your ears. The way that I transform a kid's mind is what makes them better. It's not what they actually do in training. It's what I tell them about what they do as a player and what I tell them about what they do as a person. That's what makes them better. That's why I always say that the person makes the player. How they approach a situation is going to dictate how they actually develop. And it doesn't matter what situation it is. It could be receiving coaching, receiving criticism, allowing yourself to not be a distraction and allowing others to not be a distraction to you. Kids just don't know. So if kids don't know, we can't fault them. But once they know, we can hold them accountable. So a lot of what I do in my training, I get kids to just think and act and respond a certain way.
And when they come in here, would you say a majority of them, you do have to instill that? Because they come in here, like you said, they don't know. They're still little kids.
And the reason why they don't know is because we all come from different walks in life, right?
Exactly.
A lot of parents have not played college basketball. A lot of parents have not played professional basketball. So how do you know how to prep a child's mind to play college basketball or to play professional basketball if you haven't?
You've never did it,
right?
exactly.
You've never done it. So when kids walk into my environment, that's why a lot of what I do is foreign. People say all the time, oh, Coach Ray's a little tough. He's a little hard, he's a little challenging. So a lot of what I do looks foreign because they've never done it. They've never been through it. You don't know what a college workout is like.
You got to get them in here, and you got to be tough on them, man. Somebody's got to. You're preparing them for life as well. Like, take sports out of it. Life is hard, man.
But the thing about it, man, is this. The world is not going to ask for permission to be hard on your child. So a child has to understand that when adversity sets in, they got to figure out how to channel that adversity, adapt to it, and then figure out how to maneuver through it. Right? Because the world is not going to ask for permission. So a child has to be coached hard just because when the world put them in situations, because the world is going to come at them. The world is going to come at them. So when kids get put in situations where they have to adapt, they got to be able to adapt. But a lot of kids don't know how to adapt.
They don't.
And the first thing that they do is they run back to mom, run back to dad to try to figure out, okay, what do I need to do now? No, you got to figure out what to do because mom and dad is not going to always be here.
You're going back to Coach Rayfield next week. And once it becomes like a routine and you get used to it, man, it'll only better your sports career and life. You got to be tough. You got to be tough.
For sure.
In closing, I have two more questions for you, Coach.
Okay.
First question being the athletes that you mentioned earlier, Sarah Puckett, Ella Copeland, Reese Davis. These are just three of multiple athletes that you trained and have had success in. They're going to reach the next level. Sarah already has, and then reach the other level. What is something that they did that separated them? Like, what is something consistent in their training that they had to buy into for them to make it?
Well, to be completely honest, it wasn't even them.
Okay.
It was the parents making sure that they came to Coach Ray every single week. And it's like everything. When you wake up, when you take a child when they're first born, the first thing that you tell kids, make sure you brush your teeth. You wake up the next day, brush your teeth. You wake up the next day, brush your teeth. You wake up the next day, brush your teeth. So what are you actually doing when you're telling kids to brush their teeth? You're reminding them to do something until they start to do it on their own. Right? So early on, don't get me wrong, Sarah didn't like coming to train.
Okay.
Reese didn't like coming to train. Ella didn't like coming to train. And shout out to Cameron Stutz, who also went to Auburn and played football.
Stutz?
He's one of my athletes.
I know Cam Stutz.
That started with me in the 6th grade, so shout out to Cameron Stutz.
Shout out Cam.
So Cam came, he didn't want to train. Ellison Barrett, who plays softball, went to Murray State and played softball. She's one of my athletes, so shout out to Ellison. She didn't want to come train, but you know what happened? Even on the days that they didn't want to come train, the parents made sure you're still going. I don't care if you don't want to go, you're still going to Coach Rayfield.
Yeah.
So the parents are the ones that kept them coming until the kid fell in love with coming.
Yes.
So it's not per se the kids who wanted to be here. The parents made sure they got here until the kids fell in love with being here.
They had some good guidance and they kept it consistent.
Yes, so the parents are the ones that's going to really shape and mold the kid, because development happens in 3 ways.
Okay.
Parent, coach, player.
Player.
The coach can't do anything unless the parent is involved.
Exactly.
So even when the parent bring the kid, the coach going to do their part, the child got to step in and do their part. So development happens in 3 ways.
3 steps.
Parents, coaches, players.
Exactly. And consistency is what has got you this far in life as well. You stay consistent this whole time. You've been around sports your whole life. It's crazy, man. I've been wanting to get this interview for so long, because like you've always been one to like look out for the kid. Me growing up, there really wasn't that many options when it came to training when I was younger. And now, like, it's great that we have people like you. And then
Wait a minute. It's great that we have people like you.
Yeah.
Because you also work with kids.
Yes.
So let me tell you something, guys. I watched this kid play when he was in high school, and you're talking about a baller, and it's not just him being a great basketball player. I could see the IQ that he had even at a young age. So what you're telling kids right now, when you work with kids, I already know it's going to be on point, simply because I saw how you played the game. See, that's the difference between a lot of kids nowadays. A lot of kids play the game, but a lot of kids don't understand how to read the game.
Yeah, how to yes, exactly.
So when I watch you play, it's almost like you saw things happen before they happen.
Yes.
See, so you don't play basketball in real time. You play basketball in future tense.
Yes.
Which means you have to see things happen before they happen. And you was one of those players that I remember watching at Colbert County, where you get on the basketball court and you're playing, you're seeing things happen before they happen. It's almost like Jason Williams that played in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's who I always looked at you as.
I love white chocolate.
That's who I always looked at you as when you play, because you'll be coming down and you'll end up dropping off a pass, and that pass might smack somebody in the head because they just wasn't ready for your level, right?
Yeah.
So before you give it to me, I got to also give it right back to you.
And I appreciate it too, man.
Because you do an excellent job
Thank
as
you
well.
so much.
Yes.
Yeah, you motivated me to get into the training, honestly. Because I'm like, man, he's doing it. Somebody else has to do it as well.
And you know why somebody else has to do it? I'm not going to be here forever.
Yeah.
So somebody else has to do it, which is why I don't understand why trainers are like this.
They go against each other. Man. I hate it, man.
It drives me nuts, because I'm 54 years old.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this forever. I got to be able to sit down, chop it up with you, talk to you, and be like, hey, man, pick my brain. Let's talk. That way, when I'm gone or when I walk away from this, I could send my kids somewhere. That's what I don't understand about trainers going at each other. I'm like, man, guys, we all can work together and figure out how to make this thing happen.
And like, you can't train everybody.
Can't train everybody.
Malcolm Armstead, he can't train everybody. Like, there has to be a group of people that come together to help these kids out. I don't know why it's so like feuded and divided. It's a weird.
It's an ego thing.
It's so weird to me,
I'm
man.
the best trainer.
Yeah.
I can do this better. I can do that better. It's more of an ego thing. And I think that if we all just continue to put kids first.
Yeah.
Everybody can help everybody. Everybody has something to offer.
Yeah, right? Man.
There's not one trainer that's better than the other. We all have something to offer.
Yeah. It's got to be a group of people, because the youth is everything. It's all about. You never want to put yourself first as a trainer. It's all about the kids.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people kind of lose that along the way. Like you said, ego comes to play. What is the biggest mistake, in closing? What is the biggest mistake that you think some of these athletes run into that prevents them from taking that next step?
Oh, that's an easy answer.
Because we've seen so many great athletes come through this area, and they never even leave the town, man or the city.
I'm going to tell you, that's an easy answer. And it's one word: misinformed. That's the reason why, if a parent has a child and the child has those expectations to be great, you have to use all of your resources.
Yeah.
And what is it I mean by all of your resources? I'm not even talking about trainers. I'm talking about, you need to go talk to the guy that's been to prison, figure out why he went to prison, talk to him and figure out what prison is like. You need to talk to some millionaires, figure out how these millionaires did it.
Yeah.
Right? Talk to these professional basketball players, football players, baseball players, figure out what mindset they had to help them get there. Figure out how these CEOs of companies, how they actually did it, right? So kids have to use their resources.
For sure.
So a lot of kids are being misinformed by jealousy, right?
Yes.
Envy, hatred, right? Don't go over there. Why would you not if I have something to offer? So I think a lot of kids are, and this is a melting pot for talent. There's a lot of talent in
Dude,
this
there's
area.
so much talent.
A lot of talent. But again, a lot of that talent is just walking the streets, not doing anything because those kids was misinformed along the way, right? Don't go over there, don't listen to this guy, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
So my advice to every kid and every parent is this: get with all the people that I just named. Talk to some millionaires, even talk to the people that's in jail, that been in jail. Use your resources.
Yeah.
Figure out what it is you should and should not be doing, right?
For sure.
So kids being misinformed is what's stopping a lot of potential in this area.
I believe that as well too, because like when you were overseas playing, this area needed somebody like you back then. Because just think of all the athletes that just went unnoticed just because they're misinformed or misguided. It's honestly crazy, man.
But you know what's funny about you saying that is when I first got back here and I started training and working with kids, see, a lot of people will throw hatred in my direction. I've been very successful.
Yes,
you know, I got a lot of athletes that have gone to college. I'm very successful. I'm still in operation 19 years into it, right? So I'm still doing very well. But the thing is this, when I first got back training, nobody was working with kids.
Nobody was, man.
Now everybody's trying to work with kids. So if I walked away from it right now, my dream for this area has already been fulfilled
100%.
Because people are taking involvement with the kids in this area. I can walk away from training right now today and be okay with it because my vision was clear. Too many kids in the area is falling by the wayside that got the potential, but they're being misinformed. So now that we have the rise of TVBA in the area.
Shout out Dale Lyles.
Shout out to Dale Lyles.
Yes,
so now
legend.
we got the rise of TVBA. Now we also got other trainers working with kids and doing all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
My dream for the area has been fulfilled. I can walk away from it, wipe my hands clean.
I did my
now
part.
I did my part. Now I can sit back and just watch the growth.
And enjoy it.
And enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Last question, man. What are you gonna do? You're gonna continue to do this till you can't do it anymore, right? That's how it should be too, man. And you still got a lot of time left in the tank. No doubt.
I tell people all the time that a lot of what I do requires me to talk, use my eyes, right? So if I have to wheel in here in a wheelchair and give some advice, right, I'm gonna do it. But no, all seriousness, man, I'm probably looking at maybe at max, I'm 54 now, I would say about 64, 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pass it on to somebody.
Pass on the torch. Eventually it'll get to the point some of the people you train, they'll have children and you train their kids. That's gonna be a crazy moment.
Or some of those kids that I've trained is gonna come back and start doing it. Because
Yep.
they have my knowledge in their head. So
for sure.
Can't do it all, can't do it forever.
You can't. You left your mark though 100% and you're gonna keep moving with it. Rayfield Ragland, dude, I appreciate you, man.
Man, I appreciate
100%.
you, bro.
Anybody you wanna shout out before we call it?
God Almighty.
God Almighty, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Coach Ray, get in here. All sports training, injury prevention, mental aspect of sports as well. Dude, I don't see how you do it, man. It really is crazy to watch.
I just told you how.
Yeah, it's
God Almighty.
Yeah, man.
He's the reason I'm able to do it, man. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Coffee graduate, class of 1990, four-sport, all-state athlete. Only athlete in the nation in 1990 with 4 Division I offers in 4 different sports, right? Or a Division I offer in 4 different sports, man.
Correct.
Crazy. It's crazy, man. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude. Bunch of good stuff was said. Tuned into the Keep It On Ice podcast, episode 10. Like, comment, subscribe. Anybody that watches this with children, need a good trainer, I got your guy right here, Rayfield Ragland on Facebook. We gonna call it quits. Y'all have a good one, man. Peace.
Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here?
She bounce it like 6'4", no Nintendo. Ay. I just spent 2 beans on a benzo. Ay. Rockin' on Mozilla, this not Kenzo. Ay. Had to stretch my money like a limo, yeah.